is going on, chat, man? We are back, and today we are reacting to the Lakers have finally turned on LeBron. You know, this was highly anticipated, highly recommended, man. So with that being said, let's get straight into the video. And if you guys are new to my channel and enjoy this type of content, or just enjoy classic / old NBA content, or just sports content in general, man, you know, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, before we get into this video, if the Lakers are turning on LeBron, that's how you know it's crazy, bro. Like, genuinely, man. So with that being said, let's just get into the video. Yes, sir.
LeBron James is smack dab in his 8th NBA season with the Los Angeles Lakers. Shockingly now, twice as long as he spent with
Hold
the
on now. 8 seasons? That fast?
Miami Heat. Would you believe that is just 3 years shy of the tenure that he had with the Cleveland Cavaliers, his hometown team, which drafted him, and he of course spent 2 different stints with them for a grand total of 11 seasons. But yes, this is now year number 8 for the King in LA, and well, it does look like his time there is coming to an end. Following an absolute bombshell report coming from ESPN.com today, authored by Baxter Holmes, a staff reporter there. And within this article, of which I would definitely recommend you reading the entire thing, the primary story...
Is he trying to take shots at LeBron not reading, actually, and just holding books? That's funny. That's funny.
Details the infighting between the Buss family, primarily 6 siblings, but mainly the top 3 siblings of the hierarchy, led by Jeanie Buss. The infighting which led to the record sale of the team earlier this summer for $10 billion to Mark Walter. But of course, in the transaction, despite the fact that the Lakers ownership ceded from the Buss family to Mark Walter, Jeanie Buss retained her position as governor of the Los Angeles Lakers, a position which she still holds today, right as this article by Baxter Holmes hits the interwebs on ESPN.com. And guys, believe me when I tell you that this article is a doozy, and it paints a not so flattering picture of LeBron James, and in particular, the way Jeanie Buss felt about LeBron James, almost from the very beginning of his involvement with the organization. Of course, he went there, remember, in the 20...
So the owner of the team is finally just over with LeBron, is what I'm hearing. Am I putting 2 and 2 together right, chat?
2018-2019 NBA season. And Jeanie Buss resented the implications, according to this article, that LeBron James was viewed as the savior of the Lakers. Obviously, a narrative that LeBron James helped to promote, no doubt. Because sure, they did win the NBA championship in LeBron's 2nd season with the LA Lakers, but many people just forget or outright gloss over the fact that the Lakers were pretty stinky in King James, the Lakers' savior's 1st season in LA. A season in...
This kind of hurts. Like, we're only 2 minutes in, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, chat. This hurts. This genuinely hurts. Because the Lakers were stinky before LeBron came. Yes, he turned them around, made them a little bit better, but then after that little moment, they were stinky the whole time, bro.
Which the Lakers went only 35-47 in. LeBron, of course, deactivated at the end of the season when it became glaringly apparent they weren't going to qualify for the playoffs. Then into year number 2, well, that is when good pal and agent Rich Paul intervened. Rich Paul and his agency, Clutch Sports, that is. More on them in a moment. But yes, that's when Rich took on Anthony Davis as a client, and AD at the time was considered a top 5 league-wide player, top 10 at worst, when that is that he was healthy, which was even a concern all the way back then when he was still early on in his career with the New Orleans Pelicans. But it wouldn't be long after Rich took AD on as a client that AD would mysteriously demand a trade out of New Orleans, and not just demand a trade, but he was demanding a trade specifically and only to the LA Lakers, of course, LeBron's team at the time.
Bro, LeBron recruited him. Chat, I don't know if the Clutch Sports agenda, you know, getting Anthony Davis signed to Clutch Sports, then, you know, all of a sudden he teams up with LeBron and requests a trade from the Pelicans. I don't know if that's real, but it does seem real. I'm going to be honest with y'all.
And lo and behold, once AD arrived in Tinseltown, that's when the magic happened in year 2 of the LeBron James tenure. So I can see why Jeanie might be a little off-put that LeBron is seen as the Lakers' savior. Really, it could be Anthony Davis, which should be viewed as the Lakers' savior if we're looking at one of those two players as such, because it was AD, who, yes, ever so slightly, but still led the Lakers in scoring that season, their championship run, both in the regular season and in the postseason. He led the Los Angeles Lakers in win shares in both the regular season and the postseason, and that was while he was anchoring their near league best defense. AD finished second league-wide in Defensive Player of the Year voting that season, and as a result, Davis doesn't really get enough credit for that championship I think that he deserves. And it was LeBron James and Rich Paul who ended up bringing AD there, I suppose. So LeBron should get some credit there in pulling the strings of his puppet, Rich Paul, and having him facilitate that trade of AD out of New Orleans to Los Angeles, getting us to a second point that was revealed by
the super teams, bro. I'm telling you, the super teams era. Everyone wanted to play with everyone, win a championship for free, man.
Baxter Holmes in this ESPN article that Jeanie Buss felt that Rich Paul and Clutch Sports exerted too much control and was putting too much pressure on the Lakers organization throughout the tenure of LeBron James. And yes, surprise, surprise, all the things we've been saying, alluding, referencing to all of these years, all being confirmed within this report by Holmes from Jeanie Buss. That Clutch exerted too much pressure and control on the Lakers organization. Yeah, of course they do. It is a massive conflict of interest, whatever LeBron James's connections are to Clutch Sports, or I should say, whatever his tangible impact is on them. We know that he is running it behind the scenes. It is well known throughout NBA circles that LeBron James...
Y'all think LeBron is the guy that is running Clutch Sports? I'm genuinely curious about that too. Like, do you guys think that for real?
James has and continues to do all of the recruiting for Clutch, that he is the mouthpiece of Clutch throughout the NBA. And sure, it did benefit the LA Lakers. Of course, I just got done highlighting how Rich Paul and LeBron James helped facilitate the trade of Anthony Davis to the Lakers, which ultimately put them over the top to get that championship in the 2020 Disney bubble, LeBron's fourth and still his final NBA championship to this point of his career. So while the Lakers felt the tangible benefits of that impact of Clutch, in that specific instance, they have been suffering by and large throughout LeBron's entire 8-year tenure because of it, most notably in the Russell Westbrook deal, which was also cited prominently within this article from Baxter Holmes.
Why would Russell Westbrook shoot that shot, bro?
That Jeanie Buss felt that LeBron and his team had an overwhelming lack of accountability for that Westbrook deal, basically putting the entire thing on LeBron's shoulders, that it was essentially his plan to bring in Russell Westbrook, and that, of course, was a complete disaster. And the irony in it, of course, is that LeBron totally flipped and turned on Russ and scapegoated him out of town, something Russell Westbrook spoke about off the record in the summer, and talking about what a snake LeBron James was. Again, all the things we have known for years, all now coming out. This is what happens, LeBron, when you overstay your welcome. Things apparently reached such a low point and a boiling point within the organization that Jeanie Buss actually considered trading LeBron James all the way back in 2022.
Bro, this hurts, bro. Bro, this is crazy, chat. Oh my God, bro.
And even floated the possibility of it being to the Clippers within the organization. The article goes on to highlight how Jeanie Buss didn't even really want to give LeBron his last extension, but did so essentially because she feared bad PR. And look, I'm not suggesting that Jeanie Buss is a good owner or that any of the Buss contingent was good at owning this team outside of the late, great Dr. Jerry Buss, but this is a damning article nonetheless, because Jeanie Buss did have the controlling ownership stakes of a team that LeBron James has spent 8 years with, and we thought, allegedly, that maybe just the relationship between those two is what kept him there as long as he has been there, but now it appears that that isn't the case, and it hasn't been the case all along. The final nail in the coffin, I guess, between LeBron and Jeanie in their relationship was the fact that, according to this article, Jeanie Buss felt LeBron wasn't anywhere near grateful enough for the organization drafting his scrub son, Bronny. Because, of course...
What? Oh my God, bro, this is crazy to me.
Remember that he applied significant pressure on the franchise to draft Bronny, a guy who has no business being in the NBA still to this day. He's now in his second season, by the way, with the Lakers. But Jeanie Buss felt as if that was a significant gesture towards LeBron James, one that he just kind of shrugged off and felt entitled to. Again, none of this should come as a surprise to anybody. And ultimately, the final takeaway from this article is that LeBron James's outsized ego just tore the Lakers ownership group and the franchise apart over the last 8 years. Wow. Was it worth it, Jeanie and co? Was it worth it throwing your father's legacy down the drain to bring this snake in and to steal one shallow and hollow undeserved championship in the flukish bubble on the Disney campus after a 3-month stoppage in play due to a global pandemic? One championship, that's it, for the alleged GOAT. In 8 years now and counting, the Lakers, over that span of time, have a cumulative record in the regular season of just 330 and 267. That is approximately a 55% winning percentage. It extrapolates out to 45 wins per season throughout LeBron's tenure with the Los Angeles Lakers. That is while playing with a top 10 league-wide player in Anthony Davis for the majority of his tenure, and then trading him for Luka Doncic, a top 3 or 4 league-wide player, playing roughly 500 basketball over that span of time. All the while, they have been out of the first round of the playoffs just 2 times. Twice. That's it. Meaning in the previous 7 full seasons, which LeBron has completed.
Bro, 7 times. This is bad, bro. Like, they've been losing for so long. In the first round, the second round, bro, it's bad.
With the Lakers, they have not won a single playoff series in 5 of the 7 seasons. All of this while his outsized ego destroys the franchise. Again, I say in one single word, yikes, LA Lakers franchise, and yikes to LeBron James. Again, this guy could have retired years ago. Instead, he just limps along in the league, trying to puff his stats and his counting numbers to try to chase down a ghost in Chicago that he never realistically could have ever caught, and he just keeps getting further and further away now because all of the things are now coming out. All of the stuff which we have been saying and alluding and speculating to for years are coming out, and now this latest article, which doesn't come—
I hate to say it, chat, but he might be right. Yes, he might be right, bro.
Come out without the implicit support and involvement of the Lakers franchise, and in particular Jeanie Buss, who again is still the acting governor of this team. What does that tell me? It says that the Lakers are thoroughly and utterly disgusted and fed up with this guy, and they want to move him ASAP, as quickly as possible, hopefully and ideally by this trade deadline, which is looming now. It comes on February 5th at 3 p.m. So we are right now, it's January 21st. We're like 3 weeks away from that. So this article may be to grease the tracks and facilitate something. As I look around, oh gee, what happened in the NBA this week of note? Well, Jimmy Butler went down with a season-ending ACL injury, and now Steph Curry, who is having a great season. He's starting in the All-Star game this year. Well, he's turning 38 in March of this year, and this is maybe one of his last good looks at it. And they desperately need to make some kind of a splashy trade now that they lost Jimmy Butler. Again, the Golden State Warriors have been circling around a potential LeBron trade for a couple years now, if you believe the reports. And look at LeBron James now being burned by the Lakers organization via this ESPN article by Baxter Holmes. Maybe that will be the last straw to break the camel's back and make LeBron finally want to get out of LA, because it appears as if he's the one that has been holding himself there, at least for a couple of seasons now. Perhaps this will be the final straw for him, and he will agree to waive that no-trade clause.
Chat, how y'all feel about Curry and LeBron on the same team? It wouldn't make sense when they were both rivals too. Like, if you're on that, I can't see that, man.
We will be looking at some kind of a bombshell trade coming now for the second year in a row. Last year, again, it was Anthony Davis being traded out of LA and bringing Luka Doncic in. Perhaps this year we will get LeBron James being traded out of Los Angeles to team up with Steph Curry. Oh my, what a tangled web we
Yeah,
weave.
how do y'all feel about that? I just thought about that. If they were on a team, because if LeBron gets kicked, right, he'd probably go to the Warriors, and that wouldn't make sense.
Here in the NBA, the hot stove is heating up off the court like it can only do in the NBA and no other sport. Guys, make sure that you are subscribed to stay up to date.
Chat, let me know down below what y'all think, man, because I'm lost for words right now. Like, I'm literally lost for words, man. But, you know, this is the end of the video, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe, man, and I'll catch y'all next time. Yes, sir.